Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to walk you through part one of a three-part tutorial series on the Kinemaster editing app. Now, I film primarily fashion and beauty videos, but I also film exclusively on my iPhone, which means I want to be able to edit exclusively on my iPhone. So regardless of the content you're creating, if you also love to film on your iPhone, this is such an invaluable editing app to get to know. Now, this series is an update to a previous video I uploaded where I highlighted the Splice editing app, and at the time I really liked it, mainly because it was free, but also because I thought the user interface was very easy to get to know. But then not long after I uploaded that video, they actually nixed the whole free thing and you had to pay a monthly fee to access the app. And then they also changed the interface and I just never took to it, which is when I found Kinemaster. Now, Kinemaster is not free, but literally for under $5 a month, what this thing is capable of, to me, is totally worth it. I'm talking about being able to layer like multiple video tracks. You can do things like extract audio. Every single time I use this app, I find out something else it's capable of. So I'm super excited to walk you through the basics in this video. But stay tuned because like I said in part two and part three, I'm really gonna teach you some of the capabilities that this editing app has. But in any event, we're gonna get into part one. Okay guys, so this is what the Kinemaster app looks like when you open it up, and on the right hand side, that's your project library, and right now I have a couple that are in the works, so that's where Kinemaster is going to store your projects until you delete them. And then on the left hand side, you'll see that large circle button with a clapboard on it. That's what you're going to press to start a new project. Once you tap that button, you will get this option to select the aspect ratio of your project. So obviously a 16:9 is for a YouTube video or a Facebook video, and then a 9:16 is for an Instagram story. And I'm so glad they added this disclaimer at the bottom because they previously didn't notate this. It's just a reminder to keep all of your video, image, and audio files intact while you're editing your project, because if you go ahead and delete those files, like if you want to try to clean up your camera roll while you're editing your project, those files will disappear from your project. So once you've chosen your aspect ratio, here's what you're gonna see. So on the bottom portion of your screen where that red T is, that's your playhead, and that's where all of your audio and video files are going to be held while you edit them. On the right hand side, that's basically your editing wheel. And on the left hand side, that big black cavernous box, that's gonna be your preview screen so you can watch whatever it is you're editing. So when you're ready to begin a project, all you need to do is tap on that media folder file in that editing wheel to access your camera roll. And you'll see here, it gives you the option of choosing a video file that you'd like to add or a photo file. So whatever the case may be will always be highlighted in red. So right now video is highlighted in red, and so that's giving me access to all the albums that hold my video files. So it's just a matter of toggling between the video and photo files depending on what you want to add to your project. And so for this demo, I am just going to choose a video file to drop into my timeline, and then you're going to click that check mark in the upper right hand corner. First and foremost, once you drop a video clip into your timeline to edit, you always want to adjust the audio. The reason being, if you wait to adjust the audio after you've made your edits and you've cut up that original clip, you're literally going to have to go into each individual clip to adjust the audio and make sure it matches the previous clip. So it's best to just do it while that file is still intact. So to do that, just tap that video clip with your finger. It becomes highlighted in yellow, and then it automatically launches your editing tools. Go to the top row, and on the right-hand side, you'll see the little speaker with the mixer underneath. That's what you're going to want to tap. So once you've accessed your mixer, you can see this is where you can control your fade and your overall volume, and it automatically defaults to a sound level of 100. Now, I always engage the auto volume because it gives you the best sound, and I just reduce my overall volume down to 50. If I don't do that, I'll blow your eardrums out. But in any event, thank you guys so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Okay, so the audio levels are much better, but now obviously we want to trim that clip so that it ends after I say bye. So to do that, again, just tap the clip with your finger. It's going to highlight it in yellow, and again, it's going to open up your editing tools. And this time we're going to want to click on that scissor icon in the top left-hand corner. Once you do that, it'll give you a number of different options. Because we want to trim that clip after I say bye, we're going to choose trim to the right of the playhead and then just tap that check mark in the upper right hand corner to close the window. And boom, it's done. So now it's time to add a second clip to our timeline. So again, you're going to want to tap that media folder in your editing wheel to access your video and photo library. And from there, it's just a matter of choosing the clip that you want to insert. Once you've made your selection, just click that check mark in the upper right-hand corner and you'll see it has dropped the second video file into the timeline, and they're joined together by that plus sign. That plus sign is where your transition is. So if you want a transition that is something other than a jump cut, which is industry standard, you're going to want to tap that plus sign with your finger and it'll become highlighted in red. It'll then automatically launch your transition menu, and you can see that they have a number of different options that you can choose from. Again, the none option is that traditional jump cut, which is industry standard, but they give you so many different options that can add like a fun or kind of whimsical element to the tone of your video. Now, for the most part, you're going to want to stick with no transition just to have that jump cut because it is more professional looking, but there are times in your video where you can go with a more lighthearted option. Again, because my videos are fashion and beauty related, if I want to break up a section of content within the video, I'll often scroll down to the fun transition option and choose mini circles because it adds like a whimsical touch to my content. And then regardless of the transition you ultimately choose, Kinemaster gives you the option of speeding that transition up or slowing it down. So now let's say you would like to add a layer of text onto your video. Again, go on the right-hand side of your screen to that editing wheel and tap on the layer option. And that's going to launch a couple of different choices for you. We're going to want to click on the text option, and that is going to open up your keyboard. And that's where you can type whatever text you want to. Here, I'm just typing my name. And you can reposition where that text appears. Simply tap it with your finger and drag it within the preview window to the area you want it to place. You can easily change that default font simply by tapping the font option on the right-hand side of your screen. That launches the font menu. And most of these I actually downloaded for free from their store. You can access the store. See at the very top row there on the right-hand side, there's that little storefront icon. When you tap on that, it'll give you access to fonts that you can download for free or purchase. And these all were free. I didn't purchase any of these. And I typically like to use this Shadows into Light regular. And once you make this selection of the font you want, it highlights it in red, and then just click the check mark in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Now you can really bring that text to life. Kinemaster gives you an entire array of options to choose from. We just went through all the different font selections. You know, you can add some animation with regard to how it appears on the screen. You can animate it leaving the screen, and you can also change the color of that text. And to do that, you just want to click the color icon on the right-hand side of your menu, and that will launch a very extensive color menu that Kinemaster has. You can even adjust the opacity of that text. And then I like to give mine an outline, so you just tap the enable button. It allows you to change the color and also the weight of your outline just to make it more pronounced. Once you're happy with what you have, just click that check mark in the upper right-hand corner. And again, if you want to add some animation to your text, it gives you a number of different options. I typically like to go with like a nice fade, so it'll fade into the screen, and then I also fade it off of the screen. Now, when it comes to moving between clips, you always have the option of just dragging your finger along the timeline to move your playhead. But if you click the left-hand corner of your screen, right at the bottom, see that little arrow? It's like pointing to a doorway.
Once you tap that, it gives you the option of moving your playhead to the previous point, which would be to the front of each clip, move to the beginning, which means to the beginning of your project, or move to the end, which means move to the very end of your project. So once you're happy with your project and you want to save it to your camera roll, if you go to the upper right-hand corner of your screen, right above your editing wheel, you'll see there's a little box with an arrow pointing upwards. Tap that to access your export menu, and Kinemaster gives you the option of exporting in HD or 4K. Now, I will warn you that if you decide to export in 4K, especially if you have a long video, you are going to be waiting a very long time for that video to export. It will not be a quick process. You'll have to be patient. And one tip I have for you guys is that before you ever start exporting a video, make sure you go into your phone settings underneath the display and brightness. Choose your auto lock option to go to never, because if your phone goes to black while Kinemaster is exporting your file, it'll automatically stop the exportation process. And I'm telling you, I've made that mistake before and it's so annoying. But once that red fills the entire line, you'll see that Kinemaster has saved your project, and all you have to do is go into your camera roll to access the final file.
Okay guys, so that is it for part 1 of my Kinemaster tutorial. And like I said, keep an eye out for part 2 and part 3, where I really kind of like talk to you about the capabilities of this app, which again are so unbelievably amazing. But in any event, thank you guys so much for sharing your time with me today. I hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!